Tonight, it's the National Football League. It's Super Bowl Sunday. We'll see Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles taking on Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs.
So much has happened since the Super Bowl was last in this part of the U.S. in the early 90s. The Rams and Chargers have both returned to L.A., and they've constructed this incredible new palace for football, SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. And it will be the scene tonight for Super Bowl 56. And what a matchup we have. Tonight it's all on the line. We play for the Lombardi Trophy, as it'll be the AFC champion Kansas City Chiefs taking on the NFC champions, the Philadelphia Eagles. Brandon Gunn with my good friend Charles Davis. And Charles, for these Kansas City Chiefs, they, of course, were Super Bowl champions 2 years ago. They won over the Niners in Miami. They fell to the Bucs in Tampa last year, but now they are back making their third consecutive trip to the big game.
They have truly cemented themselves as perennial frontrunners, and now, when we think of Kansas City, we expect them to be in this game. They're trying to emulate the New England Patriots, who went to Super Bowls 51, 52, and 53 in recent years, and they came up with a win, loss, and then a win again in those 3 consecutive seasons.
Meanwhile, it took until Super Bowl 52 for the Eagles to lift the Lombardi Trophy for the first time. Their fall was a quick one, down to 4-11-1 a year ago, but an incredible turnaround in 2021 has them seeking a second Super Bowl title.
And it really wasn't that long ago, but this roster, entirely different. It doesn't take long to turn things over in the NFL. But we all remember that performance in the win over New England. Nick Foles threw for 373 yards. The Philly special, it'll go down as one of the most iconic play calls in Super Bowl history. But they're back now, and they're looking to make it 2 wins in 5 years. Sing it with me, Brandon. Fly, Eagles, fly.
The stage is finally set, and here we go. Super Bowl 57 is underway. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. Here's the Chiefs offense for their first possession, and it's Patrick Mahomes at quarterback.
And he's been sensational all season long, but he saved his best work for the playoffs, leading his guys to the AFC Championship a couple of weeks ago. And now he knows what lies ahead. He's going to need to play a near-perfect 4 quarters of football to get his guys to the finish line.
Mahomes now on first down. And this one caught by Travis Kelce. 5 yards on the game's first play, second down. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that, and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series, they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
And that's going to be a Chiefs first down as the tackle made here at the 36.
That's a good, nice, crisp run for a first down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Here's Mahomes to throw. Room to run past midfield. And finally taken down at the 44-yard line.
That was a fun one to watch right there. A nice in-breaking route and plenty of room in the middle of the field. and he was able to get behind the linebackers and grab the completion for a really good pickup.
So from Philadelphia territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. A shotgun snap and a give to Edwards-Helaire. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, when that continuity is there and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense because someone's going to run for some big yardage.
Throwing on 1st down is Mahomes. That one caught by Tyreek Hill. A good rally to the football keeps him to only a yard, and it's 2nd down.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
To throw again on 2nd down, Mahomes. They'll set up the screen to Edwards-Helaire. And I think the ball's out, and it's picked up by the Eagles. Philly's offense getting ready, and Jalen Hurts ready to lead them. The 2nd-round pick who started his career at Alabama, then finished with an electric senior season at Oklahoma.
And he comes in off of a tremendous game in the NFC Championship round 2 weeks ago. This has been a team all season long that's really taken their identity from their quarterback, and he's been very vocal in the days leading up to this game that he believes that this is their time, and he's going to do all he can to will them to a Super Bowl win.
And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure. Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
So that challenge, a successful one. So possession still theirs, but now they face a 3rd down. Now after the fumble recovery, it's Mahomes. He is going to find Hill here. And he will have a Chiefs 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. Mahomes now to throw. He'll find Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. So the completion good for 6 yards. And it's a 2nd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Mahomes. And in for the Chiefs touchdown. With a 1st touchdown of this Super Bowl and a long one at that. And the Chiefs are on the board first here in this Super Bowl. Striking first in any game is very important, but on this stage, the biggest of stages in the Super Bowl, that's huge.
You fully expect the other team to battle all the way through, but when you're the one setting the pace, jumping out in front, that has to feel great for the entire organization.
Harrison Butker is on for the extra point. And his kick is good to make it 7-0 KC. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And it's capped off with a Kansas City touchdown. After the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And ultimately, he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25. Hurts and the Eagles come up here 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. He's got Dallas Goedert, his tight end, over the middle. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not even going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit. And that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They will run for the first time with Miles Sanders. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
2nd down, back to Sanders. It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves him with 3rd and 5.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
Now on 3rd down, an extra DB out there for the Chiefs. Hurts. And that will be incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
Here's Aaron Sipos out now to punt on 4th down. And a fair catch signaled for and taken at about the 18-yard line. They call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And it's Chiefs football, 1st and 10. And now here comes Kansas City. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. Now Mahomes. This pass going to be caught by Hardman. 7 yards to pick up there.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes and they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. From the 24, Mahomes. A throw right side taken in by the tight end Gray.
That was a route run, not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw it, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Now here's Mahomes. It's Kelsey on the ground. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
So many times in my career, I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. But as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
1st and 10, it's Edwards-Helaire with it. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. 43 yards rushing for him now in the opening quarter of this Super Bowl.
That outside handoff to the left, that play has to warm the heart of an offensive line coach because they controlled the left side where they were supposed to. They didn't allow anything to leak from the backside on the right side of the offensive line either. Well played.
Yeah, and it created a big run. So from Philadelphia territory now, here's a 1st and 10 down at the 31. Here's Edwards-Helaire. And he's going to get this one down to the 30. Credit the tackle to Darius Slay.
Not the kind of game that we'll go absolutely crazy for, but it's the kind of game that you need to have when you're running back in the NFL. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire with that low center of gravity and strength, he's going to get those tough, gritty yards for you when necessary.
On 2nd down, a run with Edwards-Helaire. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Throwing is Mahomes on 3rd. Man open is Robinson. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of...
He's got it. Touchdown, Chiefs. Noah Gray there to make the grab. And the Chiefs will add to their first quarter lead here in this Super Bowl.
You get down near the goal line, this is where having a sure-handed tight end becomes a luxury. And it pays off big time, especially when the defense sells out against the run. And he finds himself open for an easy touchdown.
Butker now to add the extra point. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. So that drive goes 8 plays, and it winds up with the Chiefs hitting pay dirt. After the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. So back onto the field, here come the Eagles for their second drive. They trail early on in this Super Bowl as they come up 1st and 10. Throwing is Hurts. Open man, that's Devontae Smith. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40.
You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline and from their point on the field, because this has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed first down there. They've needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. And now some motion before the snap. And this will be our first penalty of the night's proceedings. That's going to set him back 5 yards. Hurts sets up to throw it. He'll get this complete to Jalen Reagor. If they didn't have that penalty a moment ago, it'd be a first down. Still a nice 13-yard pickup.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down, keep the sticks moving.
So now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory at the 48-yard line. Quick slant here to Smith. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Zero hesitation that time. That was get ball, throw ball.
Yeah, turn into a smoke route. If you see the coverage off the receiver, doesn't matter whether you call it a run or not. Just take the ball, get it out to him.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Here's Hurts to throw. Open man is Goddard, the tight end. A good gain of 9 before he's brought down at the 28.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. Just a yard to go here on 2nd down. Play action. Here's Hurts. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete. So the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
Again, he'll drop to throw. Complete left side, the tight end Rodgers. And he is going to have an Eagles first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago, because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Hurts a handoff to Sanders. And power running here down to the 6-yard line. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves them with a 2nd and 3. Well, you're down early. How do you get back in the game? Maybe establish the run. I think they're trying to do that.
Now, I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit and find our way back into this game.
And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Miles Sanders, a 6-yard touchdown run. And the Eagles are on the board here in this Super Bowl. So it was the passing game that got him down here, but closer to the goal line, it's the running game that gets him home.
Certainly appears that they lulled the defense into thinking that the passing game was going to be it the entire drive. Nice change up there going to the running game to get him over the goal line.
On for the extra point, Jake Elliott. And that one makes it 14-7. So that drive, 80 yards, 9 plays. And it was Miles Sanders who finished it off with a touchdown run. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. The Chiefs offense set to go. And they had to wait a long time to get the football back. Probably not what you were hoping for when you got an offense that's humming.
Agreed. What you were looking for is the defense get the ball back pretty quickly, right? Hoping for a 3-and-out. So that didn't happen. You can't yell at your D for that. They've got to take care of their own business and reestablish themselves now that they're back on the field.
Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their own 24. The drive will begin with a run by Edwards-Helaire. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here. And if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs. Run some plays, run some clock. Allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
2nd and 8. Shotgun snap to Mahomes. Open man is Hill. He's got it. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. Mahomes going to throw. Trying to get it to Robinson, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Steven Nelson. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Eagles defense gets a pick-6 TD. What a moment for him, a pick-6 in the Super Bowl. You think about some of the big pick-6s over the history of this huge game. I remember, because I was watching with a lot of Colts fans, Tracy Porter picking Peyton Manning to get the Saints' first title.
Yeah, that one pretty much sealed the deal for New Orleans as well. But I got to go back a ways because, you know, unfortunately I'm considerably older. Herb Adderley, the Green Bay Packers, got it all started. The first pick-6, Super Bowl II against the Oakland Raiders, and some of the better ones that were out there. You might remember Dwight Smith of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers had 2-in-1 game when they won their Super Bowl championship against Rich Gannon in Oakland. You mentioned Tracy Porter already. How about James Harrison of the Steelers? You remember that one? 100 yards right before the half ended. That was a big-time play. But for me, the absolute classic, Willie Brown in slow motion against the Vikings for the Raiders. The grand old man, Willie Brown.
75 yards.
You recall them on. What a play here. Another pick six in the Super Bowl. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. This will be fielded inside the 5. And they will wrangle it down a couple yards shy of the 30. KC's offense ready to take over. And they just had that pick six. I guess the only positive maybe of them returning that for a touchdown. This offense right back out onto the field to try to make up for it.
I like that because now it doesn't give them a chance to go to the bench and really settle. You know, to sit there and kind of seethe over the idea that they turned the ball over previously. Right back out there. It's almost like hopping right back on the bike after falling over. See if they can get the ball moving again.
Well, we'll see if they can do it here. Now Mahomes to try again after the pick six. Taking a deep shot here for Hardman. A 50-50 ball here, and it's intercepted. Darius Slay with a pick. And the Eagles will take over here at their own 12-yard line.
But to me, it's pretty simple, and it's fairly obvious, isn't it? He's got to start making better decisions with the ball.
That's now 2 interceptions in the first quarter. After interception number 1, there was a long talk on the sideline, and now he's made another mistake.
Yeah, he's just been kind of laying these passes out there. He's kind of been floating them a little bit. He's got to be more decisive in his reads and definitely more decisive in throwing the ball. Rifle it in there every now and then.
The Eagles offense sent to begin their next drive. This offense thankful, I'm sure, to have the football back, but also, Charles, after a long drive of their own, they've got to be a little weary.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and what you have to...
Hurts fumbles it, and I think the Chiefs have it. They do. Had some good yardage there, too, before he fumbled that football, Charles.
Yeah, just think about it this way. Running backs, as a general rule, they kind of know when the end of a run is near, and you notice how they cover up, right? They protect the football. Sometimes quarterbacks forget that out in the open field. After a while, you start to wonder, does the running back coach visit the quarterback coach and say, hey, I can help you with this? We can protect this and make sure we keep the ball.
And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And that'll be caught. Touchdown, Kansas City, DeMarcus Robinson. A 7-yard touchdown grab. And the Chiefs have taken the lead. Extra point by Butker is on target, and the lead is now 21-14. An entertaining start to this one. More to come on EA Sports. Butker now to kick this one away. Taking it about the 1. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. Philadelphia's offense ready to give us another look.
And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, punt the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You better be, because otherwise, it's going to be a long day for you.
On first down, Hurts. And that nearly a turnover, but it's incomplete. Well, fortunate to retain possession there, and it's second down.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got second and third down to fall back on.
So after the incompletion on first, now second and 10. Throwing from the gun, it's Hurts.
This is complete to Watkins on the slant.
And he's brought down after a very nice gain.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
They'll fake the give to Sanders, and now Hurts. And a dangerous throw there, incomplete. He threw that into coverage. It was nearly intercepted.
Well, he did almost everything right. Excellent coverage, breaks on the football, just unable to haul it in and take it the other way. So he dropped an interception. The key for him now, don't dwell on it. Just move on to the next play.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30.
Well, that was man coverage. So once he decides to run with the football, there's no one to account for him, and he turns it into a nice gain.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on first and 10. He'll drop to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Smith. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's first and 10. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. This time for Smith, and it's intercepted. Picked up by L'Jarius Sneed. And the Chiefs are going to get the football back at their own 17.
Charles, not only is that an interception, it's one when you were really knocking on the door for a touchdown inside the red zone.
You're actually thinking points no matter what. At worst, you're thinking kicking a field goal and getting 3. We might look back on this in the second half and say, you remember when they didn't get points on that drive? This could cost them.
The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there. And a lot of times, these plays, they either go for nothing or they go for big yardage. And here, They got to the outside, turned it upfield, and ended up getting a nice little gain out of it.
Second down at 4. Edwards-Helaire as they run out of the gun. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a third down.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them, but they did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that play.
Chiefs on third down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. From the gun, it's Mahomes. Complete, the tight end Kelsey. And his bid for the first down coming up short as he's tackled at the 25. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. On 4th down, Tommy Townsend to punt for Kansas City. Call that a 44-yard punt, 5 on the return. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. Here comes Eagle offense now as they get set to take over here. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we've got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you've got 3 on the board for sure, and to come away with nothing, that's a really tough one for them to swallow.
Yeah, will they make up for it? Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. He's going to drop this down to Sanders. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and it'll be a 2nd down.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it can turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Hurts. That's swung out wide to Sanders. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up. Heck of a play there to get to him quickly and get him down for a loss.
I think they did a really nice job getting ready for this game, scouting, watching film, and understanding defensively what the play design was.
A couple of extra defensive backs in the ball game here on 3rd and 6. From the gun, it's Hurts. Escaping the pressure right. And Hurts able to show off some of that elusiveness as he slides to the ground there and in the process picks up the 1st down.
When they watch film of this game and hand out the grade sheets, he's going to really like getting a double plus on this play. Why? He scrambles and picks up a 1st down. But what else does he do? Protects himself by sliding and avoiding the big hit. Double plus, big time play.
On 1st and 10, it's Sanders.
And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold him to no gain.
Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. Last drive, remember, similar situation. He forced a ball into coverage through the pick. He learned better there.
Yeah, similar to a golfer that's confronted with a shot that you just can't make. Sometimes you have to take your medicine, as they say, right? Just pull it down, take off, and go. Don't make something worse than what it was.
So now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory at the 34. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Over the middle, complete. That's Watkins. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it and throw it. Go play action and take your shot at the end zone.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. Hurts going to keep this himself. This will be a 5-yard pickup as they move it from the 20 to the 15. Well, that's what he can do, when he keeps the football. It's not a huge gain, but it shows how hard it can be to stop him.
Yeah, and I thought the defense had that one pretty well contained, and in fact, they probably came up and felt pretty good about what they did. Then they looked up and realized he still got good yardage out of it. He's a tough guy to stop.
2nd and 5 now. Hurts. And this throw incomplete. Now the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down.
When you run in the slant, timing is everything. And against that man coverage, there was no space available, and incompletion as a result.
The Eagles on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. They'll look to throw here. Open man, it's Rager. He's got it. And boy, he is very close to a 1st down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short.
Well, it wasn't a big strike, but that completion put them in really great range. What do we have now, 4th and inches?
Yeah, it's not more than a half a foot.
You know what I would do here?
You would always go for it.
I'm one of those guys.
Now to try the Eagle field goal, Jake Elliott. This is a 26-yard attempt. The kick by Elliott is good. And that'll bring him back within 4. So the margin shrinks there as they get the field goal to draw them a bit closer here in the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, nice snap, nice hold. They just want to keep this game close, so give them credit for finishing that one off with 3.
After the field goal, here's Elliott to kick it away. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And they'll get him down right at the 25-yard line, so the same result had he opted for the touchback. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive.
And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Working from the gun, Mahomes. They complete it to Hill. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. Had to put that ball in there with a little extra zip, and he put it right where it needed to be.
Yeah, and that little extra pace that he had on the pass, that required a little extra concentration for him, didn't it? Ball can get on you pretty quick in that manner, and he handled it well and picked up the first down.
Play action, it's Mahomes. And he's got his big tight end here. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. 16 yards there, 2 straight plays of 16 yards and another first down.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
So from Philadelphia territory now, here's a 1st and 10 right at the 40. Looking to throw is Mahomes. It's caught on the right side by Robinson. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. They'll run here with Edwards-Helaire. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. 55 rushing yards rushing for him now in the first half of this Super Bowl.
Most of their damage has been done through the air. I mean, they've rung the bell 3 times with passing touchdowns. But guess what? Ground game has not been neglected. Nice little burst right there.
On 1st and 10, here's Mahomes. Looking for the end zone. Toward the back corner of the end zone, but he could not get the feet down. This will wind up incomplete.
Early on, the running game's been working well, and the offensive line has been pleased by that. The thought process there, catch those safeties creeping up, trying to help against the running game. They tried to hit them over the top, unsuccessfully.
Now the red challenge flag makes an appearance as Andy Reid wants a second opinion. They're taking a peek at whether or not those feet were in bounds, and obviously a big call here in the end zone.
And not just the feet. How about the hands? How's the ball possessed while the feet are hopefully getting down in bounds? That's what they're trying to look at to see if it all comes together.
So not successful there on the challenge, and he'll have to be careful from here on out because he'll only have 1 challenge remaining. Here's 2nd and 10. Throwing now is Mahomes. And he'll look underneath here for Edwards-Helaire. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard. Edwards-Helaire, they'll try to run for it.
And he gets the first down yardage before he's brought down just outside the 10 at the 11. Now after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. Minutes to play here in quarter number 2. Mahomes now on first down. Throwing into traffic there, and that's complete. Now he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
I know the halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his 5th catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end.
2nd and 1 from the 2. Now Edwards-Helaire.
And he's going to take it into the end zone for a Chiefs touchdown.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Chiefs continue to look good here in the first half of this Super Bowl.
That almost looked too easy, and I think thanks goes to the offensive line for making it look easy.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one. I'm not sure how much everyone understands the preparations that go into a game for an offensive line, because there's a reason that running backs and quarterbacks give them big gifts at the end of a season after a big year. The consistency and the continuity it takes to know each other and execute their blocks is pretty impressive.
Extra point by Butker is on target,
and that pushes the lead up to 11. The touchdown. Here's Butker on to kick it away.
And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25. Now back to work for Miles Sanders and the Philly offense.
They've given him some touches. They haven't had a lot of success on the ground. Do you maybe keep going to that well, or do you mix it up more?
I think you mix it up more, try and loosen things up. Get the defense to react to other people, other plays, but don't forget about it. That's your horse. You know, Secretariat lost twice in his career.
So educational. That's very true, kids. Look it up.
Hurts and the Eagles come up here 1st and 10
at their own 25-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive.
And quickly finding Rager.
And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
They'll come up now on 2nd and a yard.
Back to throw here. And this is caught by Watkins. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage. So timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down.
Hurts. Hauled in over the middle by Rager.
And he's got this down to the 35.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
minutes on the clock in the second quarter of this Super Bowl. A reminder, coming up at intermission, we'll get highlights of this Super Bowl from Jonathan Coachman and the crew in Orlando for our EA Sports halftime report. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
Certainly looked like someone was very confident in his ability to fit that one in. I would say he was overconfident because there wasn't a whole lot of separation there. Had that one covered pretty well downfield and knocked it away.
2nd and 10. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line. Frank Clark fighting his way home to get the sack. That time, Charles, great job keeping him in the pocket and not letting him escape.
And, Brandon, I think this was a great example of the front and the back working together, meaning the back covering, no place to go with the football. And the front, terrific job on the edge so he couldn't escape outside. And then, of course, the inside pressure kept him hemmed in as well.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw.
Yeah, this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on 3rd down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
And I think they'd be well served to take that type of a physical approach against him the rest of the game. He's had his way so far, but on that last one, that worked quite well for the defense.
And for the second time tonight, his field goal unit comes out here. This from 54 yards away. And this one will not get there. It's off to the left anyway. It's no good, and this score will stay right where it is. Here's the Kansas City offense now as they get set to take over. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
The Chiefs in good position to start out as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 44. Now here's Mahomes. Caught out left side by Robinson. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
Creeping up on a minute to play in this first half. From just shy of midfield, Mahomes stays on his feet. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Mahomes now to throw. Another pass into the reliable hands of Kelsey. A gain of 6 there on 1st. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Four yards remain for 2nd down. Here's Mahomes to throw. That's caught left side by Hardman. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
Well, there wasn't much there with that hitch route. They didn't gain what they expected. But sometimes when you call a hitch, you really don't have an alternate to go to. You don't have a second route to throw it to. So sometimes you have to rifle in there and hope for the best.
So on third down, the field goal unit will come out as they'll try to get 3 before half. Spotted at the left hash, this from 45. Butker's kick here is good. And that will extend their lead even further.
So after 4 touchdowns in the game for this offense, this time they're forced into taking the 3.
But you did mention 4 touchdowns, right? So 4 out of 5, not too bad. I think that's a pretty good record for them.
Time for one play on offense. 7 seconds to go in the half as the kick is away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he'll be brought down at the 28-yard line, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone gets him 3 more.
No reason to do anything foolish as they'll snap it one more time on first down. He'll take the knee, and the final couple seconds will tick by in this first half. So we've reached halftime here in the Super Bowl. As we send you to our EA studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome in everyone to an abbreviated version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome everyone to this abridged version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. This one has certainly been one-sided to this point. It's a 2-touchdown difference as the teams have already come back out onto the field for the second half. So let's get you back out as well to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. These two teams sat through a longer than usual 30-minute wait, but we're back in action here in this Super Bowl. And no run back here as the third quarter will commence with a touchback. The Eagles ready to go on offense to begin this third quarter. And right now, their chances of hoisting that Lombardi trophy not looking too great, but perhaps that long halftime, maybe it did them a world of good.
Well, if there's ever a chance to regroup, it's in this game, right? Because you do have that long halftime, a chance to really assess things and maybe make some changes and true adjustments. They played great all year long. That was the worst first half of the season for them. They're hoping to put it behind them and come out punching here in the second half.
On 1st and 10, it's Hurts.
And Sanders has got it complete. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. But despite the completion, they're going to wind up losing 3 there. Second down.
Well, that play really didn't fool them. They completed the screen pass, but for lost yardage, a really nice play by the defense.
To throw again on second down. Hurts. And this one complete to Smith.
They sure put the coverage guys in a stress on that one. They thought they were going deep. Ends up curling inside for a nice chunk of yardage.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. They'll try and run for it with Sanders. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now a carry for Sanders. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
From the 40 now on 2nd down. Hurts. They'll buy some time right.
Hurts fumbles it. We talk a lot about setting the tone to start the game. Well, you want to start the tone right in the third quarter as well, and nearly lost a football there in their first drive.
And sometimes we overdo it when we talk about halftime adjustments and what teams are going to do. Most of the time, it's just a matter of executing the game plan you brought in. But I'll guarantee you, they didn't draw that play up on the whiteboard at halftime. They're fortunate to retain possession.
So now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory at the 34. On the draw, here's Sanders. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. From the 30 on 2nd down. Hurts. He's got Dallas Goedert, his tight end, over the middle. And he'll be brought down with a first down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 17-yard line.
Well, it certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hand...
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. The Mississippi State man, Chris Jones, with a sack there. That time, finally, a measure of revenge as they get him down behind the line.
It almost felt like relief, didn't it? Because with the success he's had throughout this game, you'd almost expect him to get free and pick up 10 to 15 every time he takes off. Not in that case. That has to feel good for the defense.
A small bit of adversity here on what's been a strong drive as they come up 2nd and 12. Sanders here as they run out of the gun. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9.
42 yards on the ground for him so far.
So from 2nd and long, now we go to 3rd and very manageable.
Yeah, they love that phrase, don't they? Because as an offensive coordinator, you can keep people a little bit off balance and guessing. Because you don't have to throw it. You can come back with a strong run game if you want to. And if you're in 4-down territory, that really opens things up for you.
And he will have the first down before he's brought down at the 3.
That's quite a spot there for his first carry of the game, but obviously they had plenty of faith in him, didn't they?
No question about it. And here, why not go with the fresh legs? Able to push forward, pick up that first. First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Oh, they go with a tight end carry. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
Back at the 4, here's 2nd and goal.
Sanders.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Miles Sanders, his second touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the Eagles have cut it back within a score.
That's a score you felt they had to have here in the third quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there was an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
Elliott now to add the extra point. And that'll cut the lead down now to a touchdown. That one in the books as a 12-play drive. And it was Miles Sanders who finished it off with a touchdown run. After the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away.
This fielded right at the goal line. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24.
So here's the Chiefs offense ready for their first reps in half number 2.
And maybe some renewed pressure on this unit following the touchdown a moment ago. It's back to a one-score game.
And because of that pressure, because it's now a one-score game, they know this is where you need to slow the momentum change, because otherwise that could overrun your team. You've got to be careful right here.
Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their own 24. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Man open is Robinson. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
As they began this drive, I was wondering how they were going to attack since they're playing with the lead. Would they continue to try and push the ball downfield? Well, after one play, it appears that the answer is yes.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. To throw, it's Mahomes. The tight end Kelsey has it over the middle. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45.
This offensive game plan has just been sensational. I mean, when you think about all the different ways they've gotten their receivers open so far, it's really been impressive. Scheme, design, execution.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Shotgun snap to Mahomes. Looking middle, and it's incomplete.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Mahomes going to throw. Being chased out left. And he has another 1st down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 28.
It's starting to fall into the category of not fair, because when he's on target throwing the ball, he's dangerous. But when you add in his ability to make plays with his feet, almost impossible.
Yeah, exactly. They've had trouble stopping him in the secondary. This time they've got the great coverage. Oh, he can run too. On 1st down, Mahomes. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
It's another zone defense. It looks like it's open for possibilities, but they did a nice job patrolling the middle of the field and forcing an incompletion.
So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. Now Mahomes. It's Kelsey on the ground. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
The Eagles call on the extra defensive back here as they prepare for a stop on 3rd down. They'll set up to throw. He finds Robinson. And he has another 1st down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 12-yard line.
Whenever we talk about moving the sticks and controlling the football, there's a great example right there. Those are the 3rd downs you need to convert to win football games. We're in the 3rd quarter of this one, and this is a tight one. In order to maintain pace, keep the ball away from the other team, and put points on the board, those are the plays they need to continue to convert.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10.
Mahomes taps this forward. It's a jet sweep. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage.
That's a nice job there defensively, being able to diagnose that little touch pass. They saw it coming, converged on it before he could get much out of it.
Again, they'll throw with Mahomes. And a quick throw here, that's complete. That was the 9th play of the drive, and they pick up 9 yards with it.
It's not cool about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
Play number 9 set to come here on the drive on 3rd and 2. Again, he'll drop to throw. And that's caught. It's Kelsey. Touchdown, Kansas City.
4 yards on the touchdown grab. And the Chiefs will extend their 3rd quarter lead here in this Super Bowl.
That seemed pretty ideal there for the offense, Charles. You take a little bit of time off the clock here in the 3rd quarter, decent length drive, and you pad your lead as well at the end of it.
And what it does is let you feel like you're in control of this game, even more so than a 2-touchdown lead, right? Because you have taken that time off, as you noted, which means they couldn't get you off the field. You ran your playbook the way you wanted to, and you gave your defense some rest. What a big-time drive in that situation.
Extra point by Butker is on target,
and the lead now up to 14. A 10-play drive that time, and it's capped off with a Kansas City touchdown. After the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away.
Fielded just outside the goal line. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23.
The Eagles offense back out onto the field. They did what they had to do to start this 3rd quarter, went down, got the touchdown to cut the lead, but the matching touchdown a moment ago, and we're right back where we started at halftime.
Yeah, you're exactly right, partner. They had a little bounce in their step after scoring that first touchdown, but the defense gave one up, and that's the problem right now. Can they get better play from their defense while they continue to score on offense?
Hurts and the Eagles come up here 1st and 10
at their own 23. They'll try and start this drive in the air.
Well, that is incomplete. Well, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
And, partner, to me, that one was all about timing. If he's there too early, it's going to be a pass interference call. If he's too late, it's a completed pass. He was Johnny on the spot on that one.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
Throwing is Hurts.
Throw right side, caught by Goddard, the tight end.
4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
How about the timing on that one? Boy, they were in sync, weren't they? 3-step drop, balls out of his hands, right to the tight end. Nice completion, just like they do it in practice.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Hurts sets up to throw it. He delivers another to Goddard, complete.
And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
Well, it looks like they got what they wanted. They got the completion, but they weren't able to break any tackles or gain nearly enough yardage to pick up the 1st down. Now to be 4th and short.
The Eagles send out their punter now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. Fair catch signaled for and taken just shy of the 30-yard line. 37 yards on the punt with no return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10.
The KC offense and Clyde Edwards-Helaire getting the ball back here.
And we have seen a decline in the numbers. Where does the fault lie? Just him? Maybe the guys up front? Combination?
Well, as you and I both know, it's almost always a collective deal. But in this case, I think maybe the offensive line got a little overconfident. They had blocked so well in the first half, picked up on what the defense was doing. I think we've seen an adjustment now that they have not picked up on, and now they're being a little bit overwhelmed.
The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. 74 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night.
He's obviously a bit of a shorter running back. And sometimes when he goes up the middle like that, he gets lost in there and then he pops out for 10, 20 yards.
I actually asked NFL linebackers if that was true. Do you actually lose sight of some of the smaller running backs? And all of them confirmed that that can be a problem. Think of it this way. 2 of the top running backs in NFL history, Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, both 5'10".
Mahomes now on 1st down. Complete, the tight end Kelsey. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
They'll let this go for the end zone.
And it is incomplete. Good positioning there downfield to break that one up.
Fair to say the secondary play, whichever side you're on, hasn't really been a glowing exhibition so far, but a nice job there to prevent a long completion.
I agree with you, but at some point, someone had to make a play and try and stop this exhibition of almost speed racing that we've been watching, huh?
Yeah, it has been quarterback and receiver dominated.
Third quarter of the biggest spectacle in sport, the Super Bowl. Thanks for joining us, everybody. 2nd and 10. Now a carry for Edwards-Helaire.
And he'll be taken down right around the 41-yard line. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
Well, this play sequence was really kind of called in reverse. Incomplete pass on 1st and 10. Nice run on 2nd and 10 when probably everyone was expecting them to throw the football. Now, if you're the defense, what are they going to do on 3rd down? You're a little off balance.
They go play fake. Mahomes.
He's going to find his tight end, Gray, complete.
And he has another 1st down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 26.
When you get a big tight end like this, sometimes it takes more than one man to bring him down. Oftentimes, your best bet, just jump on and hold on and wait for your teammates to arrive to help get him on the ground.
throwing on first down is Mahomes. And Hill with it over the middle. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them. And these guys have been taking advantage so far.
Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. They'll try and run. This is Williams. And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3. Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play, you may have to go to the air.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. Working from the gun, Mahomes. To the right side, it's Kelsey. Touchdown! Mahomes hitting his favorite target, Travis Kelsey, on the touchdown pass. And the Chiefs are feeling good as they extend their lead in this Super Bowl.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise. Methodical, that's one of the words you've taught me, and they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the 3rd quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely, you also drain clock too with a drive like that, so you really give yourself an advantage.
Extra point by Butker is on target.
And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. After the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away.
Taken at the goal line. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. And Philadelphia's offense ready to go again. They're down 3 touchdowns to this point, needing to put something together as they have it 1st and 10. They go play action with Hurts.
And his throw's going to be incomplete.
It certainly didn't appear that that's where he wanted to go with the ball initially, so he tried to get something out of it by dumping it off to his running back unsuccessfully.
Third quarter action in Super Bowl 57. Here's a 2nd and 10.
Shotgun snap, and then the give to Sanders. And he stopped immediately there. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down.
Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Here's Hurts to throw. That'll be caught. It's Rager. And he is going to have an Eagles 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football. And right now, I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
On first down, it's Sanders. And able to work about 5 yards out of this as he's taken down up near the 47. 1 quarter remains here in the Super Bowl. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. He'll look to throw.
And this throw a bit late as he couldn't reach back for it.
Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
The Eagles on 3rd down. 5 out of 9 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5.
Throwing from the gun, it's Hurts.
That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down. Well, you won't hear any boos from this home crowd on that call.
No, not at all. And it's been a long day for this crowd waiting for this game. It's been a long evening as well. Finally, they feel they got a call.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now back to throw. Left side here to Sanders. And he's going to get this inside the 30.
On first down, Hurts.
Buying time to his left.
Hurts fumbles it.
And it's picked up by the Chiefs. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line.
You've had to put up with me in this booth. I'm going to try and be simple this time and succinct. It simply has not been their night.
No, I think that fumble's kind of indicative of how this whole evening's gone, isn't it?
Without a doubt. I mean, they've tried, but nothing has ever really taken throughout the game. That's why they're down so big.
Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at about the 32.
He'll hand this to Williams to start things out.
And he'll work this one up to about the 38. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. Now, I think we can get used to seeing more of that in this 4th quarter, especially if they're having success on the ground like they did there.
Yeah, I think back when we met with the head coach in preseason, and all he talked about was building a bully. And I think it was this situation he was envisioning. Trying to ice a game, plenty of time left, but being able to give the ball to his big runner and pound away and try and finish off a game.
A shotgun snap and a give to Edwards-Helaire.
And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
So up through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now.
They'll run. It's Edwards-Helaire.
And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Here's Edwards-Helaire.
And across the midfield stripe into Eagle territory. Good work to pick up 7 yards there. That gets him into a 3rd and 1 situation.
Well, partner, Marvin, Our number one stats guy just handed me a little card that says he has 97 yards on the ground today. You think he's going to get the ball again?
I think so. 3 away from that century mark. Got to have it.
Yeah, and I think what they're going to call is one of his favorite runs, whatever he feels comfortable with, and what the offensive line has executed well today to try and get him over 100 yards.
And he will have a Chiefs first down, and comfortably so, as he gets 5 there on 3rd and a yard.
He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
First and 10, it's Edwards-Helaire with it.
And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
I know the game's not over, but there's got to be a sense of satisfaction right now for the guy carrying the football a bunch today. 99 yards, and he has enough time to go over the century mark.
Well, you got to give it to him again, right?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. You're not worried about losing yardage here. You're not worried about any of that. You just want to get him to the promised land for every runner. 100 yards or more in a game.
2nd down, back to Edwards-Helaire.
And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage.
2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
Now, that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater, he just made a great play there.
The Chiefs on 3rd down. Can't fault these numbers. 7 for 9 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. From the gun, it's Mahomes. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. And he has another first down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 14.
We often hear the phrase sure-handed tight ends, and he certainly fits into that category. Plus, he's got a quarterback who knows to look his way when they need a big pickup. And on this play, he finds him for the first down.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line.
Operating from the red zone now, Mahomes. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's taken down at the 7 after a gain of 7.
Second down and 3, ball on the 7.
Throwing now is Mahomes. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. So 2 of 2 on 3rd down conversions on this drive, and now they face a 3rd and 3 here. Looking to throw is Mahomes. Under pressure, down he goes. Sacked at the 10. Brandon Graham applying the heat off the edge. Well, this has been a pretty sizable drive. They've had some success. Finally, the defensive coordinator found some success of his own.
I think he just simply said enough of that. Okay, they've moved the ball well. We need to force the issue from our end, and that's exactly what he did.
So on 4th down, Mahomes off, Harrison Butker on for the Chiefs field goal. Butker's kick here is good, and that will extend the lead out to 24. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
after the field goal. Here's Butker to kick it away.
Taking it about the 1. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25.
Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession.
And it's becoming more and more apparent that this is just not going to be their night. That Lombardi trophy so close, but the expectations simply have not matched the results as they start on this drive, 1st and 10. Hurts and the Eagles come up here 1st and 10
at their own 24. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive.
And quickly finding Rager.
And he'll be corralled right around the 34.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
Hurts throw here taken in as he's able to find Goddard.
A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end. A guy that you can line up anywhere. In the slot, out wide, in tight. Doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Hurts.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play, and that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
They'll throw on 1st down with Hurts.
And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. 2nd down.
At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
On 2nd and 10, Hurts. And he's going to have the hook up to Scott. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
The Eagles on 3rd down. 5 out of 9 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. From the gun, it's Hurts. And this pass broken up. The contact well timed there, and now 4th down.
From a defensive perspective, they had exactly what you want anytime they want to throw the football. There was pressure on the quarterback. They were getting after him, and they tightened down on the receivers and forced the incompletion.
If they're going to have a shot in this Super Bowl, they're going to need this one on 4th down. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. Now a leaping catch. He's got it. And he's taken down inside the 30.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
Hurts. And Hurts able to show off some of that elusiveness as he slides to the ground there, and in the process picks up the 1st down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line.
Inside the red zone here. They'll look to throw.
And Hurts able to show off some of that elusiveness as he slides to the ground there, and in the process picks up the 1st down.
Containing him is becoming a big problem. We've already seen this once earlier on this drive.
Yeah, and so now 2 times this has happened. Do you adjust something?
Yeah, I think you do. I think you have to start thinking about your rush lanes. Try not to either get too wide or too narrow. Make sure someone is there waiting for him to take off.
Try to punch it in with Howard. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Jordan Howard taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Eagles get a score closer. When you talk about a battle being won in the trenches, that touchdown right there, a lot of credit to the offensive linemen.
Yeah, when you watch them surge across the front, they really created great space for the runner to get in.
Now that Eagle offense will stay out there as they'll go for 2. They're going to try and run. And he's going to go down right at the line of scrimmage. The defense left him with nowhere to go, and the try for 2 is denied.
Well, partner, since this new 2-point rule came into play, offenses spend a lot more time working on it. That means the defenses are doing the exact same thing.
So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. And the Chiefs are going to make the recovery. Tyreek Hill making his way back out towards the huddle. All right, so let's look at these numbers. I don't want to read the tea leaves here too much, but maybe he's in his own head a little bit after that hot start and the cool-off.
Sometimes that happens, and this is where you get tested as a player in this league if you truly want to be an impact player or a star, because that's what they're going to face each and every game. Extra coverage, extra people. So now, do you fight through it? Do you find other ways? Or do you allow it to affect you to the point where you're no longer an impact on the game?
Edwards-Helaire on the counter.
And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. And I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Edwards-Helaire as they run out of the gun.
And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
Coming up on 2nd and 7.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he'll take this down just shy of the 25-yard line.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
Now Now here's Mahomes. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete.
And he will have a Chiefs first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
Normally on third down and short yardage, you're thinking of throwing to your tight end. It's just going to be a simple chain mover. But this time they let him roam down the field, and a nice dart picks up the first down and then some.
Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10.
They'll hand it off now. Williams. And he takes this into the end zone for a Chiefs touchdown.
Darrell Williams.
A 10-yard touchdown run.
And the Chiefs are starting to pour it on at the game's biggest stage. They are running away with this Super Bowl.
Butker on for the PAT. And they open the lead up now to 25 points. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it was finished off with a 10-yard touchdown scamper. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away.
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. Room to run at the 50. Still going inside the 30. And they are not going to catch him. He's in. Touchdown, Eagles. It's been a back-and-forth game, a lot of points on the board, and that return right there kind of indicative of how this thing's gone.
Man, you've seen both teams go at it, and as you just pointed out, both of them have found the end zone. But just like in boxing, you know the blow that hurts the most? The one you didn't see coming, and that often is the case when it comes in special teams.
Elliott on for the extra point. And that'll cut the lead down now to 18. And what a job there by all 11 on the kick return. The blocking excellent, the return excellent. The result, 6 points. So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. And the Chiefs are going to make the recovery. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line, and I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get him behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine.
Second down, back to Edwards-Helaire.
Call it a gain of 3, but not enough to move the sticks. It'll be third and about a foot or 2. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
On third down, here's Edwards-Helaire.
And he's got the first as they'll bring him down at the 28-yard line. Kansas City Chiefs are the Super Bowl champions. And to the Super Bowl champions, they etch their name forever in NFL immortality.
That's pretty phenomenal right there. It actually gave me chills just to hear you say that, because immortality forever and ever. When you look in the record books, you'll see this team, you'll see their picture, that your name will be a part of it. That's got to be an incredible feeling, because it's been a long journey to get there, and now they get a chance to enjoy it.
And they are the Super Bowl champs. The Lombardi Trophy is theirs, and so are bragging rights for an entire season. What a season it has been. Feels like we have been there every step of the way. Our entire crew doing a wonderful job. Thanks to my broadcast partner, Charles Davis. For all those guys, I'm Brandon Gaudin signing off. We'll talk to you next season right here on EA Sports.